Hello everybody, my name is Gary Sims from Android Authority. As you know, tablets come in all shapes and sizes, 7-inch, 8-inch, and today we're going to be looking at a 9.7-inch tablet, the E-Ceros Revolution 2. In terms of design, there's no getting away from it. The Revolution 2 looks like an iPad, and that's probably what the designers wanted. There's the black bezel all the way around the display, just like the iPad, and there's a front-facing camera. However, one difference is there's no physical home button. Instead, you have the standard Android on-screen keys, which includes 2 extra keys for the volume controls, because there are no physical volume buttons on this device. Switching over to the back, you'll see the speaker, the plug for the external charger, the headphone jack, a micro SD card slot, a micro USB port, which isn't used for charging the device, the power button and the rear-facing camera. There is also a small flap which when opened reveals a slot for an external 3G modem. In terms of materials, the tablet is made of plastic, even though some of it is coloured to look like brushed metal. The main feature of the Revolution 2 is its 9.7-inch high-definition display. It has a resolution of 2048 by 1576 and is driven by a Mali T764 GPU. The tablet is powered by a Rockchip's RK3288 quad-core Cortex A17 processor, which is clocked at 1.8 GHz. It has 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. It also has an SD card slot, which you can add in cards up to 128 GB. There is, of course, full access to Google Play, and there is an 8000 mAh battery. In terms of optics, there is a 2 megapixel front-facing camera and an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera. Interestingly enough, the rear-facing camera can record at full HD. The included camera app is very simple and offers only a few controls. You can switch from the back camera to the front camera, and there are a few other settings like configuring the self-timer or whether to include the GPS location in the photos. You can record video and there is a panorama mode, but that's about it. If you want anything more, you'll need to install a third-party camera app from the Play Store. For those of you interested in additional sample pictures, you'll find them in the written review, which is linked in the description below. Here are a couple of video segments I shot with the tablet. And here's a little rear-facing camera test. Are we in Venice? No, of course not. It's just a poster, but you knew that. And this little segment has been shot using the front-facing camera. At the heart of the Revolution 2 tablet is the Rockchip's RK3288 quad-core processor. Each of those 4 cores is based on ARM's Cortex A17 design. The Cortex A17 is actually faster than the Cortex A9, but more battery friendly than the Cortex A15. During my time with the Revolution 2 tablet, the user interface was always fast and fluid, and while gaming I never noticed any dropped frames. Taking a quick look at the benchmarks, the tablet managed a score of 32,149 on Antutu and a score of 784 on Geekbench's single-core tests and 2,312 on the multi-core tests. While running Epic Citadel, the device managed 51 frames per second in the high-performance mode. The tablet has a single rear-facing speaker and I wasn't expecting very much from it. However, I was pleasantly surprised at the sound that it produced. Here is a sample. The tablet comes with a non-removable 8000 mAh battery, and my testing has shown that battery life isn't going to be a problem with this device. You should be able to get around 8 to 10 hours of battery life from the tablet, depending on how you use it. I did my usual battery tests, and Epic Citadel will run for around 6 hours on one charge, which is quite impressive considering how hard that app pushes the CPU and GPU. You should be able to watch around 8 hours of locally stored video, or you should be able to watch YouTube for around the same amount of time. All my tests were performed with Wi-Fi enabled and the screen on half brightness. The only downside of this device is that it has poor overnight standby battery usage. On average, the device used around 25% of its battery during a 24-hour period when it wasn't being used. At only 8mm thick and weighing just 541 grams, the Revolution 2 is easy to hold and doesn't feel as if it will slip from your hand. Although it is a 9.7-inch device, it is thin enough and light enough that you can hold it in one hand when needed. My biggest complaint with the Revolution 2 tablet is how the flash memory is divided up. Although the device comes with 32 gigabytes of flash, it's been divided into two sections, one of 1 gigabyte and one of 27 gigabytes. The 1 gigabyte is where your apps will go when you download and install them from the Play Store. The 27 gigabytes is where you're meant to put your films and your music. There is the option to move apps from the 1 gigabyte to the 27 gigabytes. However, that seems like an unnecessary step. I don't know why they didn't just make the whole 32 gigabytes available in one contiguous block. The other thing I don't like about this tablet is the fact that it uses an external charger. It doesn't charge via the micro USB port. There is a supplied charger that connects into its own special plug. If the charger ever does break, you may have a hard time getting a replacement. It's a risk. You'll need to decide. And there it is, the Revolution 2, a nice 9.7-inch tablet with a high resolution display, a nice Cortex A17 quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and it only costs $260. My name's Gary Sims from Android Authority. You can follow me on Google+, and don't forget to subscribe to Android Authority's YouTube channel. Please use the links down here below, and I'll see you in my next video.